Hello, hello. This is the My Artifact episode number 3529. Today's date is August 9, 2025. It's been almost like a night at 10:35 p.m. Okay, I'm actually doing the psychological test, so I'm gonna continue this test. All right, yeah, let's go. Okay, the test that I'm giving right now is a communication skill assessment test. All right, let's go. All right, question is, no matter what I say, the speaker continuously cools down my excitement. Oh, that is a really good question. Okay, first of all, what exactly is this question? Okay, is this question is actually regarding about the psychological test. Okay, yeah, it actually asks a bunch of questions and it give you kind of like a couple of opinion or couple of options. What would you choose in this particular question? There is an option called like is this situation is really annoyed or not annoyed. But first of all, understand the question first. Okay, what exactly it means. Regarding about the construction of the question, there is a one thing that I'm really not sure that key is it really right. That key in this particular question they mention the speaker. Okay, yeah. So I'm not really sure the who is speaker, the guy who is actually speaking called speaker or just a guy. Okay, yeah, because the question is kind of like a simply mention that the speaker is listening. Okay, yeah. Okay, let me explain this question a little bit better. Okay, with example, let's just say that um you had a first time you had a kiss with someone else. Okay, you had kiss with someone else. This is the kind of like a simply moment that you might not forget for rest of the lifetime. Okay, yeah, because it creates some sort of place in your head. That's why you can't forget that emotions and things like that. Okay, so basically imagine that there is a someone who is kind of like in front of you and you are telling your experience regarding about how this happened, how this when you first time you had a kiss with someone else, how this thing happened. You are mentioning this and that and that and that. Okay, let me tell you one thing. When you are trying to explain that you had first time you kiss with someone else, it's a kind of like a simply emotions that we are connected. Okay, yeah. So when we think or when we talk about this particular stuff, we are getting little bit excited regarding about that particular stuff that we are talking. You are mentioning regarding about how this thing happened. You are mentioning about situations surrounding emotions, everything. Yeah, you are kind of like talking about every possible way. Okay, yeah. And when you are trying to talk about this thing now, you are showing little bit of excited. Okay, yeah. Like basically this is in na ki like I don't know, but some people are really excited when they are talking. It's a very common thing. Like it's because of that ki we are really connected with that particular stuff that we are talking. Is because of the emotions and knowledge are connected with that particular statement. So that's why when we are kind of like a try to talk, we also show some sort of excitement, love, happiness, emotions, sadness, everything we are actually expressed through those stuff that we are talking. Okay, yeah. So same thing that the person like just say that I am kind of like talking about when I had a first time a kiss with someone else. This is kind of like something the stuff that I'm really connected with this thing. I'm trying to tell this thing with all those excitement and things like that. But let's just say that other person is really not that excited. Okay, I means like that the person that I'm telling, that other person is not really excited that much. He is not really excited, nothing really at all. And when you try to tell your story, that particular person always interrupt or kind of like a something that key showing non little bit less interest. Okay, yeah. So when other person is kind of like a showing little less interest or no interest, then probably are you feel annoyed at that time or not? Definitely I feel really annoyed. This is the kind of like only question. Okay, yeah. The question is that no matter what I say, the speaker continuously cools down my excitement. Means like that like the excitement that I'm trying to tell you, and that particular speaker cools down means like that like basically just interrupt or kind of like a talk something else, or kind of like a I don't know, he just interrupt me when I'm trying to tell the story. So is this annoyed? Okay, this situation is really annoyed. Okay, I also feel really annoyed at that situation. All right, next question. Speaker always try to refute me. Okay, I'm not really understand what is actually meaning of refute. So let me explain this thing a little bit better. Translate हिंदी. ओके, वक्ता हमेशा मेरा खंडन करने की कोशिश करता है. व्हाट्स अ खंडन? वक्ता नेहमीच माझे खंडन करण्याचा प्रयत्न करतो. ओके, व्हाट्स अ खंडन? ओके, I'm not really kind of like simply understand what exactly it means. Okay, yeah. And trust me, just like na, Google is kind of like a not really paying attention regarding about the translation. It just kind of like a translate, like basically is this thing na, normal people don't really understand what is actually meaning of khandan and things like that. So that's why I'm just kind of like using the chat GPT, because chat GPT is actually giving me very proper answer regarding about every possible way. Explain this. Okay, that means the person that you are talking often argue against what you say or try to prove you wrong. Okay, like basically they are regularly challenge your statement or opinion. Are you kind of like something annoyed that statement? Definitely, yeah. Like basically, if the particular person is kind of like always argue with me, I will definitely gonna annoyed. Okay, yeah. The speaker distort the meaning of my words by manipulating the context. Okay, let me understand what is actually mean of that. Let me translate this thing in Hindi. वक्ता संदर्भ में हेराफेर करके मेरे शब्द का अर्थ विकृत कर देता है. So what exactly it means? It means that na ki like basically when I'm trying to talk, he just talk very random stuff. He just kind of like a change some sort of thing and kind of like I don't know. Okay, like basically, have you ever kind of like somebody experience that ki when you try to tell some sort of thing and other person is kind of like thinking it very wrongly. Okay, like very wrongly means like that he just kind of like a change some certain thing, but it's like, yeah, he just not only interrupt the story but just entire thing. Okay, yeah. So do you feel really annoyed? Definitely I feel in this particular situation I will be definitely gonna annoyed. When I ask question, the speaker make me defend myself. Okay, what is actually defend myself? Like let me understand what is actually meaning of defend myself. जब मैं कोई प्रश्न पूछता हूँ तो वक्ता मुझे अपना बचाव करने के लिए कहता है. मुझे अपना बचाव करने के लिए कहता है. Okay, I need to understand this thing, what exactly it means. Okay, yeah, so I'm gonna go ChatGPT again and yeah. That means instead of directly answer your question, the speaker respond in a way that put you on the spot, making justify or explain yourself as you are done something wrong. Okay, it's kind of okay, yeah. Okay, so what exactly it means? Okay, the question means that ki like the speaker make you defend myself means like that ki, let's just say that ki I don't know, it didn't really happen with me, but still okay, yeah. Let's just say that ki like okay, you are in relationship with someone else. Okay, yeah. Boy, girl, whoever the person. Okay, yeah. Now another person is kind of like did something wrong. Okay, yeah. Let's just say that ki okay, yeah, let's just say you and your wife. Okay, yeah. not you and your wife, like let's just say that ki, okay, you and your wife would be really good. I don't know how would I supposed to explain, but okay, let's just say girlfriend and wife. Okay, girlfriend and boyfriend. This would be really good example. Okay, so imagine you have your common friend. Okay, yeah, he has a birthday. You means you and your girlfriend decided that ki we should supposed to be celebrate this his birthday at like a night at 12 a.m, like a early morning. Okay, yeah, we also decided that we have to go to his house and kind of like a just like at 12 a.m we just barge in at his home and kind of like a celebrate the happy birthday and things like that, because he was one of our best friend. Okay, yeah, now we actually plan, like me and my girlfriend, we actually plan that thing. Now what is actually happened that he because of some sort of reason, we didn't really arrive at his place at particular time. We arrive at very late. Okay, yeah, so very late means like that we arrive at almost like a 1:30 a.m. Okay, yeah, like so much late. Okay, yeah, then we went there and he was saying, why are you so late? Okay, so basically we are actually late is because of that ki my girlfriend was driving a car, and she kind of like a something that ki um, like she missed the turn, or kind of like she did some sort of stuff. That's why we actually kind of like didn't really arrive on the time. Okay, yeah. So basically it's this thing that ki when we arrive at 1:30, okay, 1:30 a.m, and he asked me that ki why are you late, then probably she would kind of like a simply kind of like a tell me that ki like a we are actually late is this because of him. Matlab she actually pointed towards me that ki like a like a basically everything is actually happened because of me. She was kind of like a somebody throw down entire blame towards me. Okay, but actually this is actually happened because of her, but she actually kind of like put the blame into me. Okay, yeah, so this is called kind of like a something that he defend myself. Okay, so the question is that ki does kind of like a some speaker makes you kind of like a defend myself. Okay, yeah, like a is there any kind of like a person who are kind of like a something do something that it kind of like a let you defend yourself? Is this something really happened, or like when it happened, do you annoyed, do you feel really annoyed or not? Okay, regarding, okay, let me tell you one thing. It depends on variable factor. Okay, yeah. Situation surrounding person. Okay, yeah, everything. Okay, yeah. Like as if, like as I mentioned, this birthday is a kind of like a something. It's not really essential thing. Okay, yeah. It's not really that key, kind of like a something that key. If we ate, we feel late, even more late, then probably if we arrive on birthday even more late, it doesn't really matter that much. Okay, yeah. So it just kind of like something very it's not really that very important thing. But what if like someone kind of like did some steal some sort of thing, and you are kind of like a boyfriend or girlfriend blame that ki you actually steal the thing. Okay, she kind of like put all the blame to you, then everything would be kind of like a some very fucked up situation happen. Okay, yeah. So what I'm trying to tell you is this thing that ki does your speaker like the does the speaker is kind of like a make you defend myself, is this situation annoyed? Definitely it's bitterly annoyed. Yeah. Question: sometime the speaker ask me to repeat my word pretending that they did not hear me. Do you feel really annoyed? Yes, definitely. Like basically this is someone people are kind of like a somebody say I didn't really hear it, but just tell me again, just tell me again, tell me again, like say like a basically in India we have kind of like a somebody, if we didn't really heard, like basically just like we just say and when I say, then that particular person kind of like a repeat the whole again. Okay, yeah. Okay, it happened once, that is okay. Okay, yeah, but it happened every single time, then probably you are bitterly annoyed. Okay, instead of kind of like simply try to talk, we kind of like a think that ki fuck it, like he didn't really hear anything at all, so why do I supposed to kind of like explain again and again. So do you feel really annoyed? Definitely I'm feeling annoyed. The speaker interrupt me to agree with my word before I have finished the point. this situation annoyed? Definitely annoyed. Okay, yeah, why not? Like basically is this thing, if other person didn't really understand my point, didn't really let me complete my point, and he just kind of like a jump into the conclusion and try to give me judgmental points, then probably yeah, it's bitterly annoyed. Right? Yeah, I just kind of like something that the other person might should supposed to be understand this statement entirely. Na, let's just try to tell my point first and then give me the judgmental look, na. But before this thing you are giving the judgmental look, obviously it kind of like a bitterly annoyed. Yeah, the speaker is distracted by outside world, looking at their hand, cleaning their glasses, etc. And I am firmly convinced they are not listening to me. Okay, let me understand what is actually meaning of this question. Okay, yeah. Why is not working? Come on. Okay. I need to understand what is exactly it means that. Okay. Work. Okay. वक्ता बाहरी दुनिया में व्यस्त है, वे अपने हाथों को देख रहे हैं, अपना चश्मा साफ कर रहे हैं आदि, और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि वह मेरी बात सुन नहीं रहे हैं. Oh, okay, 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 okay. Okay, so what exactly it means? Okay, yeah, like a वक्ता बाहरी दुनिया में व्यस्त है, वे अपने हाथों को देख रहा है, अपना चश्मा साफ कर रहा है आदि, और मुझे पूरा यकीन है कि वह मेरी बात नहीं सुन रहा है. So is that make you feel annoyed? Okay, what exactly it means? Okay, yeah. Have you ever kind of like a notice when you try to talk with someone else, other people are kind of like a somebody just looking at somebody, looking at somewhere, kind of like a do some sort of nonsense thing. Okay, yeah. So in this particular situation, do you feel really annoyed? Well, let me tell you one thing. Okay, yeah. When we try to do communication, okay, yeah, in the communication thing, it's not meant to be that ki you have to be look at that particular person and kind of like a something. No, sometimes now when we try to talk, we just look at somewhere and things like that. Okay, yeah, but it's not meant to be that ki I'm kind of like a not giving you attention. Okay, yeah, it's because I'm giving the attention, but the topic is not really that much something that ki like that excited that I should supposed to be kind of like a look at your face and things like that. Okay, yeah. So in this particular situation, if that particular person is kind of like a somebody looking at somewhere and things like that, and I'm trying to talk, okay, so do I feel really annoyed when he kind of like a looking away and things like that? No, I'm not really annoyed and things like that. Nothing really at all. But when I'm pretty sure that that particular person is not really listening to me, because in this particular question, it kind of like a completely says that I am firmly convinced they are not listening to me. Firmly convinced means like that I am convinced that he is not listening to me. So in that particular situation, do I feel really annoyed? Definitely. In this particular situation, I definitely feel annoyed. Okay, yeah. The speaker draw conclusion for me. Speaker draw conclusion for me. Okay. Conclusion. I understand what is actually meaning of that, but let me understand even more better, because sometimes it just like better to know what is actually meaning of this. वक्ता मेरे लिए निष्कर्ष निकालता है. Copy. Let me understand through ChatGPT. ChatGPT is giving me very proper answer. That means the speaker decide what you think, feel, or mean without asking you, essentially making assumption on your behalf. It's like they finish the story in their head and hand it to you as if they own you. Oh, okay. So do you feel really annoyed? Definitely, I feel really annoyed. I don't want to be kind of like a people are take kind of like a conclusion to me. No, I feel definitely annoyed. Okay, yeah. The speaker always try to add words to my story. I will definitely annoyed that thing. Okay, yeah. I don't want to add any kind of like a mix and masala and things like that. Okay, yeah, no. A speaker always looked at me very carefully without blinking. Oh, so do you feel annoyed? Um, Not really. Like annoyed is a kind of like a very harsh word, but let's just say that. Okay, yeah, that key. Sometimes okay, like when I'm kind of like a something that key, when other person is kind of like a somebody try to talk. Okay, yeah, and I'm looking at them. Okay, yeah, but without blinking is a something that key. Without blinking is a little bit something very different personality that you are showing. Okay, yeah, like basically if I'm trying to talk and other people are actually looking at me, that is okay, but other people are just looking at me and just like without blinking just look at my face, I feel really like a claustrophobic that why the fuck you are looking like me like that. Okay, yeah. So in this particular situation, like they I feel really annoyed because without blinking he is looking at me, I just feel little bit of scared. Okay, yeah. Like basically when I'm talking other person is kind of like looking at me, that is okay, but without blinking staring at me, it's like I don't know, I'm kind of like me question myself that what he was kind of like a thinking on his mind. So in this particular situation, yes, I do feel a little bit of annoyed. Another, the speaker looked at as they are evaluating me. That worries me. Okay, let me understand what exactly it means. Okay, evaluating and things like that. Let me translate. And वक्ता ऐसे देख रहा है जैसे वो मेरा मूल्यांकन कर रहे हो, यह बात मुझे चिंतित करती है. Is it really annoyed? Person is actually look at me, evaluating me. That worries me. Okay, like basically, I need to understand this question even more better. So I go to the chat GPT and yeah. Okay, so this means that the way the speaker looked at you feel like they are judging or assessing you almost as if you are being graded or treated or tested, and that gaze makes you feel uneasy and anxious. It's less about what they say and more about silent pressure in their expression. Do you feel really annoyed? Yes, I do feel really annoyed in this particular situation. Like if the person is kind of like looking at me in very like a very something really just like a basically not just like that na ki stare at me, probably this would be kind of like a something really like let's just say that ki I'm talking. Okay, yeah, like basically okay, this question, this is kind of like a not relevant to me because I am a man, but let's just say there is a woman. Okay, yeah, there is a woman, he's kind of like a talking regarding about particular topic, and there is a particular person, let's just say man, who is kind of like a looking at her in very different way. Okay, yeah, like a kind of like a staring and like I don't know, but very different way. Okay, yeah. So when this thing happened, it does feel really annoyed. For her, it does feel really annoyed because obviously it's really not good thing. Okay, yeah. Okay, another. When I propose something new, the speaker says they think the same thing. Do you feel really annoyed? Let me understand the meaning of propose. Okay, yeah. Okay, why am like if you are kind of like a thinking that ki why are you kind of like a translating all the questions? Because sometimes na ki I understand myself ki I understand the question, but in reality the meaning of the question is very different. Okay, it happened multiple times with me. So I'm gonna make sure that the stuff that I'm talking is exactly associated with the question or not. So that's why I'm kind of like a translate to make sure that ki am I 100% sure that ki did I understand this question much better or not. Okay, so that's some kind of like using translate and sometime chat GPT. Okay, yeah. जब मैं कुछ नया प्रस्ताव रखता हूँ तो वक्ता कहता है कि वे भी यही सोचते हैं. Do you feel really annoyed? I will not gonna feel really annoyed at the situation, but let me explain through ChatGPT. It means that their gaze feels analytic, like they silently measuring your ability, intentions, or worth. That impression make you feel nervous and unsettled. It kind of like a look that it make you overthink what they might thinking. Okay, what exactly is this thing? Like basically is this thing, let's just say that ki you and your have a girlfriend. Okay, yeah. And basically you have to go to the dinner, and suddenly you decided that Chinese and other person like your boyfriend is also kind of like a saying Chinese at the same time. So is it annoyed? No, it's not really annoyed. Like I don't really think that it's a kind of like a gesture of love and caring and compassion and knowing each other. So it's not meant to be annoyed. No. The speaker tries too hard to appear interested in the conversation, nodding too often, say yes and agree with my point. Is this annoyed? I think not. Why? Because there is a very different kind of like a something people who has do that thing. Okay, yeah. And it's not kind of like a thing that you should supposed to be annoyed. Because let me tell you one thing, na, when you are talking, other person kind of like a simply thinking, they are nodding, they are kind of like a agree and things and something like that. It's वेदू थोडंसं तिकडे बोल रहे. It's a kind of like a thing that I don't know how do I supposed to explain. Okay, if the other person is kind of like a nodding me, okay, when I'm trying to talk and other person is kind of like a nodding, say yes and things like that, at the beginning I might feel little bit of annoyed, but after some sort of time I might gonna kind of like say that yeah, that is okay, because it's a part of the people who kind of like say some sort of stuff and things like that. Okay, yeah. At the beginning I might get annoyed, but I'm not. Okay, because every person is kind of like a different and things like that. So I think this situation is not really that much annoyed. No. When I talk about serious stuff, the speaker insert funny stories and jokes. Is this annoyed? I don't really think that it's annoyed. No. Why? Because let's just say if there is a kind of like a something serious topic, and let's just say that your boyfriend or girlfriend kind of like a insert some sort of joke and things like that, it kind of like he has a really beautiful he has kind of like a try to calm you down by jokes and things like that. Okay, yeah. So from his point of perspective, he just wants to kind of like a shade. He wants you that ki be calm, be kind of like a little bit funny. Okay, yeah. Sometimes na ki put insert of little bit joke in serious moment, it kind of like a calm you little bit better. Okay, yeah. So I think that na ki if I'm trying to talk a little bit serious stuff, and let's just say my partner or girlfriend or yeah, kind of like insert some sort of jokes, I might gonna laugh, and it's not kind of like a thing that ki annoyed. Okay, no. Probably like if he was kind of like a doing too much, then probably I'm really annoyed, but I don't know. Okay, I'm not really think that it's a really good gesture to kind of like insert some sort of joke in between, because it kind of like a present, it kind of like a mention that ki just yeah, this is a serious topic, but you have kind of like a simply way to calm yourself, or kind of like a simply that ki fun or things like that. Okay, yeah, sometimes, because yeah. So in this particular situation I might not gonna annoyed. No. All right. Next question. The speaker often looked at his watch during the conversation. Is this feel really annoyed? I think yeah, because when he was kind of like looking at the watch, this means he was kind of like somebody in a hurry situation or things like that. So I will not gonna annoyed, definitely not. I will gonna make sure that ki my topic should supposed to be done as fast as it possible. Okay, or maybe kind of like something that if that particular person wanted to go somewhere else, that's why he's just looking at the watch, I let him go. Okay, yeah, instead of forcing him to kind of like listen to me. It's not really good thing unless it's an important thing, then yeah. But in this particular situation, I might not gonna annoyed. Okay, definitely not. When I enter the office, the person drop everything and pays all attention to me. Oh, when I enter the office, the person drop everything and pay all attention to me. Is this really annoyed? Well, yeah, because when if I'm entering office and there is a particular colleague who is kind of like somebody kind of like a drop everything and pay all the attention to me, it's feel little bit of annoyed. Okay, yeah, because obviously it's a, yeah, it's something that came like he just dropping everything kind of like somebody just giving all the attention to me. It's a feel little bit of something off. Okay, yeah. So do I feel annoyed? If he was kind of like a doing every single time, then I might gonna annoyed. I might gonna say this thing that ki, yeah, please like do not be to do this thing. Okay, yeah. Um but still I annoyed. I think that I will not. Okay, yeah. Why? Is because of that ki if other person is kind of like a somebody drop everything and kind of like a doing the attention or kind of like a showing the attention to me, entire attention to me, then I would not gonna annoyed that much. Because of that ki if he was kind of like a doing every single time, then I would kind of like a say, dude, just be kind of like a somebody, just be relaxed. Okay, yeah, don't be kind of like a things. But I would not gonna annoyed, because being really annoyed means like that ki it's not kind of like a thing that ki I should supposed to be annoyed with this simple thing. Okay, yeah, yeah, I would be kind of like a little bit something that ki a wrong little bit, but I will gonna tell them that just dude, be calm. But annoyed is not a kind of like a thing that I would do. No. The speaker behave as if I interfere with them doing something important. A speaker behave as if I interfere with them doing something important. Okay, what is that? This thing, let me understand this question a little bit better. ट्रांसलेट एंड हिंदी. वक्ता ऐसा व्यवहार करता है मानो मैं उसके किसी महत्वपूर्ण कार्य में हस्तक्षेप कर रहा हूँ. Do you feel really annoyed? Like let's just say that ki if I'm like let's just say I have a girlfriend or boyfriend. Okay, yeah, I want to talk with him. Okay, yeah, but he just kind of like something behave in a such a way that ki like kind of like something that ki you are kind of like interfere with me and things like that. So in this particular situation, would you annoyed? Well, I definitely not only annoyed, but I was kind of like somebody being really skeptical regarding about that ki like the only the person who is kind of like doing such a thing is because of that particular person is actually hiding something. And when he was kind of like hiding something, that means he did something wrong. So I'm really skeptical regarding about that. Did you did something really wrong? Okay, yeah. So yeah. But is this feeling annoyed? Yeah, it does feel annoyed. Okay, this is the last question. The speaker demand everyone agree with them many of their statement with do you think so or do you disagree with this? Okay, let me understand what is actually meaning of this question so that I might gonna better way to. वक्ता सभी से अपनी बात से सहमत होने की अपेक्षा करता है. उसने कई कथन. क्या आप भी ऐसा सोचते हैं या क्या आप भी इससे सहमत है जैसे शब्दों से समाप्त होते हैं? ओके, लाइक बेसिकली दिस थिंग द समवन speaker is always demand agree with them. So is this particular situation, do you annoyed or things like that? I would be not that much annoyed probably. Why? Because of that if speaker is actually demand to agree with them or things like that, they basically, this is kind of like something, question is actually represent by a couple of people, like more than 2-3 people. Okay, yeah, like let's just say that ki you 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 and your couple of friends, like let's just say 4 or 5 friends are going to the road trip, and suddenly there is a person who is kind of like a demand that let's go to the Goa. Okay, yeah, so would you agree that ki would you go to the Goa or not? Well, yeah, like basically he was really excited and he wanted to kind of like do that thing. So why not? Let's just agree. Yeah, it's not really that annoyed thing. Until and unless if I have something other place might be kind of like a go to the Lonavala or things like that. But yeah, but I might not gonna annoyed with this thing. No. All right. Okay. So I complete the test, and it gives me kind of like a something report card. You are critical and Babri, it's very difficult to understand this language. So I'm gonna kind of like put the screenshot, go to the chat GPT, and kind of like something go to photos, and I'm gonna put the prompt, describe this image. Okay, yeah. Okay, so image shows the screen from the communication skill assessment report. Okay, yeah, this result says you tend to be critical of what other says. Okay, first of all, explain in simple language. Okay, okay, in simple language, it kind of like a giving me little bit pointer. Okay, my report card. Don't decide too quickly what someone means. Okay, don't worry too much about how they talk, be genuine. Okay, it kind of like a somebody giving me suggestion. Okay, yeah, but what is actually the pointer? Okay, result says you are tend to be critical what other says. Yeah, I'm bitterly critical. You lack some qualities of good conversationalist. Okay, so basically regarding about this statement, they mention that I'm not really good conversational person. Okay, the advice is given to, okay, it gives me a little bit advice to myself. Avoid jumping to quick conclusion. Oh, okay, like basically do not go to the direct conclusion. Okay, yeah, don't focus too much on how people speak. Oh, don't pretend. Okay, and don't over analyze or search or hidden meaning. Don't dominate the conversation. At the bottom, these are the two bottom pass again or open answer in history. This status bar in the top shows the time and things like that. Okay, so there are a couple of kind of like a simply problem in me. Okay, yeah, they mentioned that you are not really good conversation, and they are giving me little bit of kind of like a conclusion that key do not go to the judgmental and things like that probably. But regarding about this test, did I kind of like a something over judgmental and things like that? I don't know, but I have to be kind of like a something work on myself regarding about how do I supposed to communicate. But like when I try to communicate, I don't know. Okay, yeah, I think that key am I be over too judgmental? Probably I am. Maybe I have to be work on myself to be as much as better as I can. All right, whatever. So I complete this test. Okay, there are so many tests. By the way, asking this question, this psychological test is kind of like somebody giving me regarding about who am I and what am I. Okay, yeah, a self reflection to myself. All right, I should supposed to be end here, and thank you.